It's Anthony Brogdon, and I'm coming at you with two people that's gonna tell an amazing story. Ooh, you're gonna really like this one. Watch out, my friends who watch me at Strong Inspirations, and you know I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor right off the bat. Oh, first of all, I'm Anthony Brogdon. I forgot to tell you because I'm that excited about today's show. But what my favor is, hit the subscribe button on Strong Inspiration. It's free. It just let me know you like me. Hit the like button on this. You're gonna love this one a lot, a whole lot. It's got some amazing Black history associated with this. And, ooh, don't tell nobody I told you this, but one of the guests is in um, her middle high age. How about that? I ain't gonna say no more on that. She might say it, I don't know. And then hit the notifications bell so you get a ding, a shock, a smoke signal to let you know there is new content on Strong Inspirations because in 2026, we jamming. We got over 600 videos and we're going for another 600 in the next couple of years. But this year, we got a lot of good people coming on the show from around the world. Did you see the one I did out of Australia? Did you see the one I did out of Ireland? The lady in Ireland says they were probably some of America's largest enslavers, even after they had got enslaved themselves in Europe. Then they come to America and then they do the same thing. Unbelievable. Did you see the one I did with the lady who was a sharecropper and ended up being the voice of history and celebrity in Europe out of Mount Bayou, Mississippi? Watch those. Now, see, what you got to do is you on the masthead, there's a bunch of videos, but go to video and then look through that list also. And you'll see some amazing stories of what I've done to interview these people on the show. You know that I'm an author, everybody. This is my latest book right here. It's titled That's My Land. It's the history of Black towns and settlements. And what we're going to talk about is a part of that history. It's a particularly thriving Black community that goes back to the 1800s and around that area. The other book I have is titled Black Business Book on the history of Black business in America. And then I have that coloring book titled They Did It. And I'm speaking around the country. I spoke in the town that these people are in about a couple of years ago for Juneteenth, giving you a hint of where they are. Juneteenth, y'all will understand that connection. And I got more to come around the country because I got to tell people these stories that I have found in my books and some of the things that I have learned as a result of this show. Let me tell you, this show has made me a better person. I've met so many incredible people via the show, and then I follow up and go meet them in person in many instances. And I'm going to meet these people too again when I go down to the island of Galveston, Texas, everybody. And I say that with a smile because there's beautiful people down there. Now, you hear me use this term strong. My book and my speaking engagements are all on my website, businessintheblack.net. Go there. Now, you hear me use this term strong. Strong is the name of the show, and strong is my brand word. And in my world, strong stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. And that is my introduction to the two strong, good-looking ladies on the channel today. Come on, sisters, introduce yourself. Let's get it on. Introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Charlisa Bell Gary.
I am Bell Gary.
Okay. Now, you two are located where? Where are you?
In Texas City, Texas.
Okay. I had said earlier that you're near Galveston.
That is correct.
How far from where are you?
About 15 minutes drive. about 15 minutes drive. Wouldn't you say, Vera, to Galveston? About a 15-minute drive.
Yes.
Okay. The Galveston and in Texas, Galveston is the island. It's Texas City is not the island. It's the mainland, correct?
That's correct. Right.
Yeah.
When you come
Okay.
off of Galveston, we are the mainland.
Now, I interviewed a lady out of Texas City with the museum there, and they had a number of stories. Where were y'all born and raised?
In Texas City. We were one of the first Black, well, we are the first Black families to the city of Texas City to settle on the freedmen's land, the designated freedmen's land.
Oh, so you say you're the first. How do you know that? May I ask.
Vera, would you like to answer that? How do we know that we're the first families to settle on freedmen's land in this area?
Well, personally, I know some of it. I am 100 years old. My memory serves me a few things that I actually experienced. But I got my information from my mother and father, my grandparents, and from Bree and research.
Oh, now, knowing that you're the first family, how what is Texas City like? Is there a Black neighborhood in Texas City or white people? What's the dynamic?
Well, the story of my family and the 1867 settlement is a part of Texas City. It was Lamarck and was incorporated. So Texas City originally, in the last 23 years, incorporated. So part of Lamarck, what we are talking about, is now presently Texas City. Lamarck was there first, and we came from the days of slavery in 1865. I'm talking about. I was a young lady, and I can remember some of the things that happened during that time.
Okay. Well, were your parents enslaved, or I know your grandparents probably were, right?
Wait, your parents weren't slaves, but your grandparents were, right? Your grandfather.
My grandparents were slaves. Uh, on both sides of my mother's side and my father's side, their parents were slaves.
Wow. And did you meet your grandparents? Did she meet them?
Did you know your grandparents?
Yes, yes, I knew them.
Oh my God. So, did y'all grow up around white people?
Did you grow up around white people?
Yes, we did. And then maybe I will give you a little history. This is what you would like to know. How Lamarck was founded and the connection between Lamarck and Texas City. My parents, my grandparents, were slaves for the Butlers in Lake City. It was Clear Creek there. And it's the Butler family, George Washington Butler, in Lake City owned more ranches and more slaves than anybody in Texas.
Hmm.
And the poor people that I'm going to talk about came basically to the Butler Ranch, which is only 7 miles from where we live now in Lamar. And of course, everybody is dead now,
Yeah.
but they were the founders of Lamar. Before 1865, it was just a prairie land for planting cotton, hay, and Anyway, we inherited this property after we were set free in 1865. It was actually 1863, but the slaves in Texas didn't get the message that they were free until 1865. And that is when four of my parents and grandparents were free. So they left Willow Ranch in Clear Creek and bought property, only property that we considered could buy was within a 230-acre tract set aside by George Jones. He was the judge at that time of the county. He knew that these slaves were going to have a place to stay and call their own by property, which was a good thing in those days for slaves to buy property. So he set aside 230 acres of land, the only land that free slaves could buy in. So
Wow.
we were separated. That's what we call the 1867 settlement. And the parents are the ones that bought into this. They still worked at the butlers as slaves, but they were getting paid. They were not getting any more free work. And the money they were getting paid was on the Chisholm Trail. They would drive cattle from Dickinson, Texas to Kansas City to the market. The Butlers had a ranch. They raised Texas down steer. And it just so happened that these were people were found in the log of slaves, the Butler slaves. And we tracked the history down. Therefore, the land belongs to us because our parents bought the land. They worked after they were free and bought within 2 acres, 230 acres of land.
Okay.
So,
Let me ask you this: when they were slaves, was it cotton that the plantation did? Was it cotton or what?
Was it cotton when they were slaves? No.
no. My people were ranchers. They worked with the Butlers. As I said, the Butler had more uh, slaves and more ranches anybody in Texas.
Oh,
Okay, so they never picked any cotton. They were not on the
okay,
farm, so they all their lives it was cattle.
okay. Let me
Well,
ask you: did she know of anybody being lynched or killed as a slave?
do you know of anybody being lynched or killed as a slave? Did you hear any stories about anybody being lynched or killed as slaves?
Man,
Killed, lynched, or killed.
no, I'm sorry, I haven't lost a hearing.
Yeah, I understand.
That's understandable.
Yes,
So forgive me if I pause for a
yes,
minute.
yes. No, you're fine.
Okay. Not any of my people, to my knowledge, were lynched. No. But we knew, as they say, your place. We knew to stay within the settlement and do not be caught after dark because they do have lynching here in Texas. Here,
Yeah.
AKA organizations right here in Lamar, Texas, where we are living today. Years ago, it was very active, and we were taught as kids to
Mm,
stay within 230 acres. Don't be caught out after dark.
mm,
And we cannot go to the grocery store. We had my dad had a small community store, and you would come to his place and get your groceries. But we were not allowed to go to any of the restaurants, drugstores, restrooms. It was just, we were never supposed to have a place. And for a long time we believed it was. And if we get out of place, then you would be in trouble.
Mm. When your grandfather got his freedom, I guess because of 1865, what did he do then? Was he a sharecropper?
Pardon where he what?
Was he a sharecropper? No, he actually wasn't a sharecropper. He was part of. They were all ranchers up the Chisholm Trail, and while
Okay.
they were on the plantation, well, not plantation, while they were on the ranch, they continued on just taking cattle, herding cattle up the Chisholm Trail. And when they became free, they then got a wage for doing that. Because
Oh, really? So
yeah,
they did pay him at that point.
at that point they did. They
What
did.
what what is the Chisholm Trail?
It was a trail, and actually I have the map I can send to you so you can
Okay.
as well. But it's from Clear Creek area to, was it Kansas City?
And they took to Oklahoma, to part of Louisiana, Oklahoma, and in Kansas. So we were in the South.
That's a long way. Isn't that like
Yes, and we had the horses and the shotguns. They would have about 2,500 to 3,000 steer cattle. They would deliver, I said deliver, because they would see that they on foot with these black cowboys, and they would drive them to get put down and dangerous territory, but they were the leaders, and they were getting paid for that. Um, they were doing free when they were slaves. When slavery was over, they got the freedom. They can still do that, but they were getting paid for driving on the Chisholm Trail. That Chisholm Trail has made history. It's in our Texas history books.
was what did you grow up on a farm yourself?
Did you grow up on a farm?
Was farm.
Did you grow up on a farm yourself?
No, I didn't. I did. Uh, my grandfather was he was a slave of another family, and they were in fruit growing business, fruit trees and what have you. That's on the best of them. And on the my grandfather on my mother's side was born in slavery as a little slave boy in Louisiana, Ashland, Louisiana. And he was given to the master's uh, daughter, but she got married as a wedding present. She brought him from Louisiana to Texas to the Butler Ranch. He was 9 years old. So all he really knew was the Butlers and the cattle, and that was his family. But I understand the Butlers owned all these slaves, but they were very good to their slaves. They looked out well for them and provided for them. And so when they got free to buy purchase a property, well, the Butlers would write letters for them that they were worthy, trustworthy, hardworking, reliable, dedicated workers. That's the only way they could buy the land. They give us something like $100 for 5 acres of land, something like that. But
Let me ask her, did she think white people were better than black people?
Did you think that white people were better than black people?
I think the whites are better than black.
Uh-huh. And you wasn't taught that.
wasn't taught that because I was born in a free land, and my mother and father free. My grandparents were slaves,
Right.
and my mother father came from a slave family because their parents were slaves. But as a kid, we were taught, as it says, stay in your place. You stay in the black settlement, and that's the 200 acres. The rest of the land was the white settlement. And so in the 200 acres for the 1867 settlement, the owners maintained that property. They built their own homes, schools, churches, and they didn't have to go out of that area where they were not allowed to go. They stood chance on getting arrested or probably beaten up or kidnapped. They were exposed to it. So we were very careful. Our parents taught us well to give respect. So
Oh,
we got along with the white people because I was born, my dad and mother, in a community grocery store. And we had to buy merchandise from the white owners to sell. So he would go to Gilbert and my father every Saturday and buy the meat and groceries and bring it back to the market in the store to sell. So we were accustomed to, deal with white people.
yeah.
We
Let
had
me ask you this.
never.
Did you ever get mad at having to do that? Did you ever get tired of having to treat them that way?
Did you ever get tired of did you ever get tired of having to treat white folks a certain way or having to go where you couldn't actually
Yes.
go to certain places? Did you ever get
Right.
tired of dealing with that?
Yes, I got tired after I was grown. After 18 or 19, and I realized really what segregation was all about when I was old enough to go to the doctor myself, and I would have to the waiting room, we had a white waiting room, and it one for black. The black would go to the one on the outside of the building. That's to the front door to the office, but to the back end. The little waiting room was, now I can imagine it about the size of a good country toilet, something like where you would use nowadays for your brooms and your mops and you're working to clean up. Uh, I get tired of sitting there waiting in line for my name to be called. I may have gotten there first, but I bet you the last one ever served. It was all a color thing, the color of your skin.
Did
But
you?
you
I
did.
know. Did you see white only and black only water fountains and stuff like that?
Did you see white only and black only water fountains?
Oh, yes, I did. They were from in the theaters. We did well. We traveled by train, some had cars, and you would stop and drive through the country. You would see the restrooms, white restroom, white it's called drinking fountains, white you call it. But there was everything in the restaurants already in Lamar. If we wanted something to eat from a right restaurant, they had black cooks. We would go to the side door, and they would bring out the back door. There's no side door, the back door, and we would tell them what we wanted, and they would bring it to when it was ready. We bring it to the door and we pay for it. But we stayed in our cars. We didn't get out to go into the restaurant.
What was your school like? You went to an all black high school or
I
what?
went through segregation. I finished in Lamar. It was the Lamar Colored School. It went to the 10th grade. And Lamar is about 30 miles from Galveston. Galveston, the first day of an all black high school, first in Texas. And we would go from by bus. We would travel from Lamar to Galveston to 8 of us in 12th grade to get our high school diploma. And we had getting pretty good. He had a van for the workers at the refineries, and the workers were driving his van to and from work for a small fee. But while my brother would drive the van, he would pick up the workers, drop them off at the plants, and then he would come and pick up the kids who were going to Central High School in Galveston, Texas, for class, 10th, 11th grade classes, 11th and 12th grade.
Let me ask you this: was she poor? Did she? I mean, yeah, that's the question.
No. Were you poor?
But what?
Were you poor?
I don't hear. Could you answer? I answer.
Sure. She was not poor. Her father made a very good living with the grocery store. Am I right, Vera?
Right.
So once you could go ahead and talk.
He was the only black grocery store in the community. And the community, as I said, was made up of the 230 acres of land. And the name of the store was Frankie Bell's Grocery. So everybody would come to do the shopping at Frankie's Grocery. In those days, you could buy by the pound. If you wanted sugar, you can go and get your pound of sugar. You didn't have to, it wasn't like that way up and prepared for sale. Sugar and flour and meal, all those items, they were put on sale in a brown bag and weighed. All your beans and things. So my daddy would buy the large quantity and bring it back. It was called the strand. That's what the strand is now. The wall where he would go.
Let me ask you this: did white people shop at his store?
Did white people shop at your store, at your daddy's store?
No. Never had a problem with them coming up there in our neighborhood too. I don't know what they were taught, but their children didn't come in our neighborhood.
Was her teachers white or black?
Actually, were your teachers at the colored school, were they white or black?
They taught the last 3 or 4 years. We got a white principal, and he was there. It's a black school. It was a principal came first. In later years, then we had one or two whites, but they didn't come down and have what we call a black settlement to work. The whites stayed there whites, and we would go to school and then we come back home.
Black student wanted to go and finish and get their diploma, they would have to go over to Galveston to do or to take those last 2 years of school. So she could go to school up to 10th grade on the mainland, but in order to get her diploma, she would have to go, and she did go her junior year and senior year to Galveston.
All right. Let me ask you this: did growing up there, did you know about uh, what was going on in the North in terms of the North being big city and New York and Atlanta and not Atlanta, but New York and Chicago and Detroit? Did you hear of stories about being up north and maybe said, I wish I would have moved north?
Well, not very many stories that I can remember. To the country, we would go by automobile from Texas to Washington to visit. And then we would go to Alabama, because my brother was in Howard University, also in Tuskegee. We would go to Alabama. And my other two sisters and brothers, five of us, went to the Texas schools, to the Bishop College in Purdue,
Got you.
with the state school.
Did you ever read Ebony and Jet magazine?
Yes, I read Jet. In fact, I bought Jet. Jet and Ebony, Essence, and there was another one. They were black. We would give them to me.
Did you dance? Did you party?
Yes.
Did you dance? Did you party?
Where would I dance?
He asked, did you dance or did you used to party? Did you dance or did you used to party?
Yes, I loved it. I loved it. I would consider that no more than good exercise. The churches were very active in the community, and they gave things, Christmas parties, families did, and 19th of June celebration. Everybody celebrated that. We were free. But as I came up in those eras, I wasn't really aware of the seriousness of my, I guess, my color until I got grown enough to take these days serious, because I didn't think too much about the history of where we came from as I was younger. But as I grew older, then I came involved in it. And I would get angry sometimes to know that Galveston was the greatest slave port
Yeah, right.
in Texas, right there on the coastline, where he would bring those slaves to the port in Galveston. The slave owners would go there. They would buy them, they would auction off, and
Right.
they would take them back to the farms and the ranches, and they never left there. They stayed there until they died. They were owned. Their names were changed. And so, but right at 30 miles from us was one of the good people. That's a good thing that the 19th of June, because this Granger came to Galveston in 1967, 1965, I'm sorry, Flash.
1865.
It was 1865
Right.
when he came into Galveston and announced that all slaves were free. You can work, keep your job, but you get paid for it. And it was against the law. You could own whatever you had. The civil rights movement come in and upset things quite a bit. But we,
Let me ask you this. When she was growing up, and I know I'm jumping around, I apologize. I'm trying to get up. When you were young, did you have a TV in your house? Did you have a radio?
younger, yeah. We had radio. Uh, I guess I could have been about in my teens, later teens, early 20s.
When did y'all get a television?
I don't know what year it was, but let's say television. I must have been in my 20s. I had the early 20s. Maybe before then, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But at Frankie Bell store, had been a store in the community, he was able to get the utilities brought in down to the store. And we were the first to get telephones, electric lights.
So she grew up and
The
had an
all of it.
outhouse.
Did you have an outhouse?
Yes, I did. For many years, I was a big girl. When we got, they call it a cesspool. I can remember they were big gallon tanks they would put down. They were buried under the ground. And
Did she have a
y'all have a
stove in the
stove?
middle of the living room?
we had a wood stove.
Yeah.
And my dad would they would cut trees down. They call it cordwood, and they would bring it in on this truck. And my brothers had cut up in the side of the stove pieces of black and keep wood in the house for cooking and heating, for washing, whatever you need, had all of her. Now, when they piped the gas and electricity down, we got electric stove. Later years, we got a gas stove. And my mother bought a Chambers range. It's still in the house today. We have our home where I was born after my parents died, and left the 5 children, and now 5 children uh, decided we gonna keep the house. We not gonna rent it or sell it. So poor my past, but the house is still there, and the house my grandfather and grandmother was raised around across the street was built out of scrap lumber from various stone, like the 1900 stone, the 1950 stone. Well, they would give up the lumber and they built their own house, scrap lumber. And my dad uh, brought all the utilities first. So we felt really blessed. We were nice to everybody, regardless of how they were hurt your feelings and what you do to them, because they were the ones that were bringing money there to the store. And my people were able to save and send us off to college. My daddy and mother would talk over the dinner table. We didn't have lounges and inns. We had kitchens in the bathroom and bedroom, and
Oh, really?
we would eat about 3 meals a day. But when we for the wood stove,
Well, was she ever bit by a snake?
Have you ever been bitten by a snake?
no, but I bet said about them. But actually, we used to have to buy berries. We used to go and get berries, wild berries, or dewberries, and the people would preserve them, and we would go picking berries, and we would always try to carry your bucket with the end of a little stick and shake that bush with that stick before we stick in there and get those berries out. There's a snake in there. if running my house. But we raised.
Just a couple more questions. What kind of music did she like growing up?
What kind of music did you like growing up?
I like the blues because my family played a lot of that. Of course, we learned how to play classical music also, but a piano, and I always had to take music from a music teacher there. But that's for the sake of learning how to play.
Do you eat chitlins?
They eat chitlins.
Yeah.
I love them. I wish I had something to eat right now. I had my last chitlins. Really, this New Year's a few months ago, the 1st of January, I hit New Year's Day. My son, Bobby, he cooked in a chitlins and pig feet, mustard greens, yams, black eyed peas, and rice, cornbread. That was the tradition. We have that every year now. And I feel blessed and fortunate that I'm able to, at this age, to enjoy my old days. Because I haven't given up another lot.
Right.
I find that you have to give some.
Let me ask you, how you put on Calissa?
It's Charlisa.
Charlisa. Let me ask you, so now the 18th, just right as we close, the 1887 settlement, tell us what's happening with it now, and do y'all have a remembrance where people come back from the community that if I was to come down there, what's a good time? If there's a festival, give us a little bit and the website, please.
Okay. Well, I'm going to turn it just a little bit now.
Yeah.
But 1867 settlement, as Vera has gotten older now, Vera was the founder and also the president of the organization. She is pretty much blessed me, and she's mentored me, so I've been training under her for a number of years. I will tell you that the best time to come is in October. The second Saturday in October, we have an October festival. It's a fall festival. It's on the city's calendar. And the Bell House is open at that time. The house which is actually the 1887 Bell House, is not 1867 settlement as they came in. The 1887 Bell House came a little bit later. But what Vera was talking about, that's made out of the 1900 storm driftwood, that is open for everybody to visit.
The family gave it.
Yes, the family gave it for a museum. It's on the historical homes tour for the city of Texas City. But it is open at that time. It's a limited time that it's open. We do have one of our cowboy founders, Calvin Bell, whose branding iron is in the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., the African American Mall. Vera has just donated her grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, Thomas Caldwell's saddle and branding iron, which is nearly 200 years old, to our the city museum. So for legacy, just to keep. And there's a replica of the Calvin Bell branding iron that is in the Smithsonian in the Bell House as well. So the only thing with our website, that website is www.1867settlement.org.
Okay. And so October is a good time to come down for that festival.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
All right. Do y'all participate in the Juneteenth celebrations?
We do celebrate whenever we have a float. We don't do it every year, but we do participate in the Juneteenth celebrations. They normally want us to because of us. We are, like I said, one of the first families to the city of Texas City.
Okay, let me clear this
We
up.
participate in parades.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and parades too, yes.
Let me clear it up. So Galveston is where the slavery found they ended Juneteenth, and then a bunch of people from Galveston moved across the water and into Texas City and developed this settlement. That's right, right?
Well, no. Actually, what it is that our forefathers, is four black cowboys: Calvin
Right.
Bell, Nealon Britton, Thomas Caldwell, and also Dave Hopgood. All four of them were part of the League City Butler Ranch. So they were
Okay.
ranchers in League City on Clear Creek is what it was. And
Right.
so that was when they were enslaved. When 1865 came and General Granger came down to Galveston, and
Right.
then everybody knew they were free, that's when they designated Freedmen's Land in this area. That Freedmen's Land turned out to be Texas City. And that's when
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
and that's when the cowboys, the black cowboys, our ancestors came. And that would have been Vera's grandfathers. Two of them, Calvin Bell and Thomas Caldwell, were her grandfathers. But
Okay.
but also Thomas Caldwell was my great great grandfather as well.
Right.
Yes.
Now, let me add one more to you. When where's the black neighborhood on Galveston Island? Does it have a name?
I don't know if it really has a name in that settlement area. I know that along with the Neocultural Center, they take a lot of that information in there. They handle all of that. But as far as that, I'm not certain on.
Okay.
Texas City, the only thing we know is Texas City.
When the slaves got their freedom in Galveston, did many of them stay there, or did they leave and come to other parts? What kind of transpired after that happened, as you have heard?
Well, as far as we know, the migration from that, as far as, and Vera, you can help me on this, as far as the migration, when slaves found out that they were free, a lot of them migrated to other parts of the state. They also migrated to Houston. Some of them stayed in the area though.
Okay.
But I think that it's a wonderful story. It's not a wonderful story, but it's something to just think about, to sit back and ponder about. Is the fact that she talked about Thomas Caldwell, the one who she's just donated the saddle and branding iron, her grandfather, my great great grandfather, to know that he was given away as a wedding present as a little boy. And Vera tells this story all the time as he was a little slave boy. Can you imagine being being taken away from his family, his siblings in Farson, Louisiana, and brought to Texas with Mr. Butler because he married a lady there in Louisiana during the time of the war. And she nursed him back to health, so he married her and brought her back to Texas. Well, her dad gave Thomas Caldwell as a wedding present to them or to her. And he, as a child, didn't understand, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure it was a lot of things going through his mind. But that Louisiana side of the Caldwells, they never came here and Thomas Caldwell never went back there. But can you imagine just for a moment, just hearing the stories of slavery, to know that, people are snatched. They were snatched all the time and given away. Imagine given away like a piece of property, which he was, but as a slave boy for a wedding present, to be taken away from his mother. But apparent from what we've heard, they treated them with some level of respect. They were good to them. And so Thomas Caldwell was the longest one to stay on the Butler Ranch.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. One more thing, as you expressed, what are some of the artifacts? I know you said the branding irons. Are there anything else that you all have from that period? Any like china, silverware, you know what I mean? Forks, knives, clothes, anything like that that y'all still have?
What anything that we any other artifacts that we have like china, any type of she said silverware, any type of clothing, anything like that during that era. I would I'm gonna say Vera is kind of looking and probably thinking, but I will tell you probably not. But Vera's house, the one that she's talking about that she was
Right,
raised in,
right,
that house is like walking back in time. She was talking about the baby grand piano. There's a baby
right.
grand piano in there. The oven that they use, the stove.
The chambers range.
Right. The chambers range. You know, the radio, the house, the beds, all
So
of
you
that.
figure that house goes back to when?
That with that house, what? How old is that house, Vera? That's the one you were born in, right?
Yeah.
So it's over 100 years old, and
Wow.
it is like walking into the past. It really is. It's very
Okay.
nostalgic, and it's across the street from the 1887 Bell House.
Okay, I got you. Good. Okay. And so that's something that we could go and see at some point, right? When we come down there. Yeah,
Yes,
okay, I
you'd be
see.
able to
I
go
see.
into it and see it, walk through
I
it.
see.
And were you
All right.
gonna add something here?
That 1867 seven has been accepted and recognized as a
The national is it the national historic? It's one of the actually,
what
Yeah.
I want to say.
and
I'm sorry, that means
and
it's a historic district.
Yes. Okay.
It's a historic district recognized by the state.
right. That's what I was
Yeah.
looking for, just to get. But it
Right.
is
The
recognized.
year we have the paperwork already, so
Yes.
we're working on it being very famous. Because Lamarck is between Galveston and Houston, and
Right.
Houston is north of Lamarck. Galveston is south. We're sitting right in the middle of them, and to get into Galveston, they have this freeway. Houston now building a great investors, some of the wealthy millionaires to spend their money down in Galveston. As there's some homes or that Galveston is an island. It has a
Mm-hmm.
lot of history in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a place that people would like to vacation and carry the kids all year. So
Mm-hmm.
we are hoping, I am, and I hope that Cherry after famous, she takes over 100% that see that we have a marker out of the highway uh, entering from the main street into the 230 acres. It's marked off as a historic district. And now it's becoming alive again. It died out. The people died. Nobody knew about it until we started research with the Butler Ranch. And we found out about these four Negroes, slaves, were from Lamarck. They named Lamarck. It was Buttermilk Junction. And at one time it was Harlem at one time. So they tell on Lamarck because I understand the postmaster was an English woman, and she uh, worked at the post office at the train station, and she helped name it Lamarck.
Mm-hmm.
Lamarck will be the place.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that's where
Yes.
we
Well,
get it.
I got you. Well, hey, everybody, this is Strong Inspirations, 100 years old.
You're
Unbelievable.
going to, I invite
Yes.
you to come down. I would like to meet you personally.
Yes.
While I'm still holding on to this one, a year to come, we do appreciate you into the time that
Yes.
you've given us and to get
Yes.
to know you.
Yes.
And I feel very proud. And I have already started talking about it, that we're going
Yes.
to have an interview with you
Yes.
because this is really great to be here.
Yes. Whoa, I'm on to
It's one,
something big. Oh my God.
it's one happy
Everybody hit the subscribe
day.
button on Strong Inspirations. I'm an ordinary guy trying to do something extraordinary through the people who come on the show. I am blessed. I'm a better person right now than I was an hour ago before I met them and we hit the switch. I've learned a lot. I'm coming down there. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll be there. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna come down there that second week in October, and we're gonna party and drink some moonshine and everything else. We're gonna have a good time. I'm coming to see that, everybody, and we're gonna make it happen. Where I'm gonna invite you, my viewers, to come with me. Let's make it a little bit bigger. We're gonna talk some more. And if we can get 50 or 100 people to show up, we're gonna find the way the lodging is. We're gonna make a weekend out of that. Coming down there, I want to do that. I thank you so very much for coming on the show, everybody. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. There is no love button. Hit the notifications bell. Uh, Tell somebody about Strong Inspirations, and to both of you, I say this, and I mean this with all sincerity. I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind. Give me another 100 years, if at all possible. But what you have taken out of that experience, what your great great grandfather did, and how he led, and your great grandmother and your family led the movement and provided. I heard that. I heard that. And there ain't nobody greater, no white people greater than us. That's for sure. Even under them conditions, never felt that way. That's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna say goodbye, and we're gonna talk some more. Thank you again.
It's been a pleasure. I thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
And we'll
Thank you.
keep in touch.
All right.